Since getting drafted to the NBA in 2020, Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant has been one of the most exciting and explosive players in the league. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing the guard in action when the season starts after he broke NBA rules not just once, but twice in the space of 2 months. In any case, join me as I explain why Ja Morant's career is seriously not coming back from this. Crumbling career. On the NBA 2023 Media Day, All-Star guard Ja Morant, who is entering the first year of a 5-year, $197 million maximum contract, was nowhere to be found. The cause is not news, but given how it has affected his once promising career, many NBA fans have questioned whether he will ever grow up and whether his NBA career will ever reach the heights it was intended to. Back in March 2023, the guard made news for all the wrong reasons when he went on Instagram Live in a Colorado nightclub flashing a gun. The gun was said to have terrified some of the strippers in the club, and while he was fortunate not to face criminal charges, the NBA was having none of it as they launched an investigation into the incident, since carrying guns on the team road trips is a violation of league policy. He was found guilty of violating the NBA's policy on guns and as such received an 8-game suspension that kept off the all-NBA teams, costing him $39 million in bonuses from his contract extension. At the time, he appeared apologetic, even going as far as to delete his Twitter and Instagram accounts after releasing a statement where he apologized and revealed he is taking a break to work on himself. According to Ja Morant, the incident wasn't who he is because he doesn't condone such actions and only used the incident as an escape route. And now that he has learned from his mistakes and matured, he is in a better position to do better. Unfortunately, none of his apologetic statements turned out to be true 2 months after he served his 8-game suspension. The 2020 Rookie of the Year was found once again waving a gun once more on Instagram Live. A reckless decision, I must say, because why would Jay insist on making irresponsible and reckless decisions that were inevitably damaging his young and promising career after just serving punishment for the same offense? Not only was NBA Commissioner Adam Silver pissed, but Nike owner Phil Knight, who has no tolerance for such behavior, was confused. It was obvious his initial apology was only temporary and he hadn't learned from his incident. A lot of NBA fans, stars, and former basketball players gave him a vote of confidence and he betrayed it. And for what? A moment of looking gangster? Ja Morant violated and displayed a blatant disregard for the league's code of conduct for the second time, and the Memphis Grizzlies immediately announced that Ja Morant had been suspended from all team activities, and the league soon followed suit with a more severe punishment, a 25-game suspension, which alone will cost him $7.6 million. Unfortunately, while the flashing gun may have damaged his reputation, the eventual discovery of his other off-court antics seems to indicate that Ja Morant may never fully recover from this. More than a flashing gun. Ja Morant's image couldn't be any worse when his other antics in the summer of 2022 became publicly known after his IG Live fiasco. It was reported that in July 2022, Ja Morant showed up with a group of around 9 people yelling and threatening a shoe salesman at a Finish Line shoe store at a Memphis mall. According to reports, Morant and his pals ignored a security guard's orders to leave the mall parking lot, and when the police arrived, a verbal confrontation broke out, and one of Morant's friends allegedly shoved the security director in the head. Unfortunately, the police never followed up with him, and the incident was kept from the public until recently because the police chose not to refer to Ja Morant as a suspect in their report. Sadly, less than a week after his incident at the mall, Morant outdid himself when he was involved in an incident that injured a juvenile. According to Joshua Holloway, a 17-year-old high school athlete, he was jumped on court at Morant's residence by Jay and his friends. Jay hit me like 12 to 13 times, Holloway said. Holloway claimed Morant's sister joined the fight and began to kick and punch him before Jay flashed a handgun in his face to threaten him. The teenage and his mother sued Morant and his longtime friend, Devontae Pack, in September. Still, the ongoing lawsuit was immediately sealed, kept it out of the public spotlight until recently. Shockingly, as if things couldn't get much worse, a third Memphis area police department handled another Morant-related incident in September 2022 at his sister's high school in Germantown, Tennessee. His sister, Tanea Morant, and another student got into a fight during a volleyball match, which prompted Jay, his parents, Jamie and T, and several unidentified men to show up at the game to threaten the student. Officers at the scene reported that a member of Morant's group allegedly rushed past one of them, smacked a student's cell phone out of his hand as he attempted to record, and threatened to beat them. Months went by without any action from the public or news coverage of the accusations against Morant. Even after he was sued, the police assigned the case refrained from asking the basketball player key questions. Sadly, these antics are coming to light now after his lengthy suspension from the league, and they show nothing but the fact that Ja Morant was far too gone, with many questions asked on why the All-Star guard constantly feels the need to prove his street credibility. Where does he go from here? Bad rep in the league. Entering into his 5th year in the NBA, Ja Morant has no doubt established himself as a fan favorite and a nightmare for the rival teams to defend. His explosiveness and dunks are reminiscent of Derrick Rose in his prime. Unfortunately, bringing his antics off court to the league has seen him earn a bad reputation among NBA stars and teams, especially the Indiana Pacers. Earlier this year, following a game between the Pacers and the Grizzlies, Ja Morant, his father, and his best friend Pac got into a verbal altercation with Indiana Pacers players. There were reports that after the game, Pac aggressively confronted members of the Pacers party near their team bus, and later on, a person in an SUV that Jay was riding in allegedly pointed a red laser at the Pacers bus. According to security officers stationed near the parking lot and a few Pacer players, they claimed the laser was attached to a gun. The incident made the Pacer alert the NBA, but after conducting a thorough investigation that included speaking with multiple witnesses and analyzing camera footage, they were unable to find any proof that anyone had threatened anyone with a weapon, and Jay was never punished. In any case, while the Pacers already have a dislike for the All-Star guard, it wasn't after his recent gun-flashing incident that other NBA stars started to criticize the guard. Among the many who spoke against Morant was 1993 NBA MVP Charles Barkley. In a lengthy rant, Barkley branded Morant a bigger fool and criticized those he thought were defending Morant by asserting that he didn't break any laws. 4-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal also criticized Ja Morant, branding him as irresponsible for not being accountable and flashing his gun twice when he has kids looking up to him. Whatever the case, since getting suspended 25 games, Ja Morant has been on the clock to repair his already damaged reputation. However, questions still linger on if he has a career in the NBA. Does he? Walking on eggshells already, Ja Morant is no doubt one of the best players in the NBA at the moment. He only played 61 games last season, but he still managed to rank 11th and 5th in points and assists per game, averaging 26.2 points and 8.1 assists. With his playmaking abilities, he proved that he was more than just a scorer, but his absence due to his antics raises concerns about his availability and commitments to the Memphis Grizzlies. Despite not having their star guard in 21 games last season, the Grizzlies finished the season with the second best record in the Western Conference. Since the beginning of 2021-2022 season, the Memphis Grizzlies' overall record including playoffs without Morant is 33-17. Overall, the Grizzlies outscored opponents by a remarkable 376 points in the 27 games, including the playoffs that Ja Morant missed in the 2021-2022 season. With Morant on the floor that season, the Grizzlies outscored opponents by 4.1 points per 100 possessions and by 6.4 points per 100 when he was off. And they did it once again last season, meaning at the moment and until Ja Morant returns from his suspension, he is walking on eggshells to prove himself. He is not necessarily assured of a starting spot because the Grizzlies have shown to do well without him. Obviously, the Memphis Grizzlies All-Star has the potential to be an MVP and All-NBA candidate for the next decade with the ability to become one of the best guards in the league history. But should his antics continue or he gets himself in another incident in the near future, Ja Morant could seriously not come back from the consequences. What do you think about Ja Morant's situation? Do you think he could bounce back if he gets into another violation in the NBA? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.